When you hear the word cyborg, you probably picture a cold metal monster stepping out of the shadows to conquer humanity. But if you are watching this video on the glowing rectangle that you carry with you everywhere, constantly feeding you information from a global network, congratulations, you are already a cybernetic organism. We tend to draw a strict line between the warm, squishy biology we are born with and the cold, hard machines we build. We treat them as separate, competing forces. But if we look closely, the pure, unaided human body hasn't been doing the heavy lifting for our survival for centuries. So there is no need to dread a dark cyberpunk future. The cybernetic era is already here, and the rigid boundary we imagine between biology and technology is entirely in our heads. Long before we started wiring microchips to our brains, we began outsourcing our physical limitations to external hardware. If your biological eyes fail to focus, we seamlessly bypass the defect with precisely cut synthetic lenses. And we don't just wear these upgrades, we place them deep inside our chests. When a human heart loses its natural rhythm, an electronic pacemaker takes over the beat, running a machine-regulated pulse 24 hours a day. We engineer titanium joints to replace decaying cartilage and strap on carbon fiber blades that allow amputees to sprint faster than biological runners. At this point, these aren't simple tools you can pick up and put down. They function identically to flesh and bone. Once an artificial device is permanently integrated to keep a biological system running, the organism has been upgraded. The physical merge is already a reality. But modifying the physical body is only half the story. The most powerful cybernetic appendage we possess is the smartphone, and it has already merged with our minds. Psychologists call this cognitive offloading. Instead of using your brain's finite energy to remember every phone number, birthday, or daily task, you have outsourced that data storage to an external hard drive in your pocket. You likely couldn't draw a detailed map of your own city or recite all the historical dates you learned in school. Your brain doesn't memorize the data itself anymore. It only memorizes the pathways for how to ask the machine to find it. Think about the immediate panic and functional impairment you experience when your battery dies or you lose your device. It feels like a piece of your memory has been severed, because it has. Your brain relies on that digital connection to process reality, meaning your biological mind and the machine are now operating as a single cognitive unit. So why did we do this? Why did humanity need to merge with machines to survive in the first place? This timeline chart compares biological evolution against human technological progress. Natural selection is incredibly slow. To adapt to a new environment, a species has to undergo millions of years of random mutation and generational death. We didn't have the time or the patience for that. Instead of waiting 3 million years to evolve biological wings, we built airplanes. Instead of waiting for telepathy, we laid fiber optic cables across the ocean floor. We stopped waiting for our bodies to adapt to the world and began building the world to fit our bodies. Those tools rapidly evolved from sharpened rocks in our hands to massive global networks, rendering biological speed limits entirely irrelevant. Technology is not a corruption of the natural human form. It is the exact mechanism we use to take the steering wheel of our own evolution. If we project this historical trajectory into the immediate future, neural interfaces and brain-computer integration are the logical next steps. We already have internal microchips that allow paralyzed individuals to move cursors, play video games, and control external computers directly with their thoughts. The inevitable progression turns this into a two-way street, where a healthy human brain can download data, skills, and sensory experiences as easily as a hard drive. A brain chip might sound terrifying, but it is the exact same survival strategy we have been running since a human ancestor picked up the very first stone tool. A neural implant is just the final elimination of the physical distance between you and the tools you use to think. It is completely normal to feel a sense of existential dread about merging so completely with machines, but we can look at this through a different lens. Slowly replacing our biology with computers doesn't mean we are losing our souls or our humanity. We are actively constructing a more capable, resilient version of ourselves. For thousands of years, our survival has been dictated more by the tools we build than the genes we inherit. In a universe defined by constant change, the unaugmented biological body is less of a final destination and more of a starting point. To survive cosmic radiation, explore the deep future, or walk on distant worlds, we cannot rely on a body designed for the savannas of Earth. Our potential isn't limited to what we were born with. It's limited by what we can imagine and build. So we want to know what you think. Would you get a computer chip implanted in your brain if it meant you could learn a new language in 5 seconds? Let us know down in the comments. And if you want to keep exploring the future with us, hit the subscribe button.